guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today's video was inspired by my assumptions tag video that I did a couple of weeks ago. I'm gonna leave it up here in the info cards if you haven't seen it. Do check that out. I thought it was super fun to do that. That video is where I answered a whole bunch of assumptions about me from you guys, and it was super fun. But there was one that I got from a lot of different people, and I was just really surprised by it. One of their assumptions was that I was an impulse shopper, and I never really thought of myself as an impulse buyer, especially for really expensive designer goods. You guys know that I work in the pre-loved market, so I like to put a lot of research and time and energy into my purchases. However, I did find it strange that so many people said the same thing. So what I did is I sort of went back and I sort of had a really critical look at my entire designer collection, all my handbags, everything, and I was wrong. What I found in my collection is that I found not one, not two, not even three. I found 11 items that were impulse buys. I am eating my words right now. I have impulse bought stuff. It's not something I do often, obviously. Apparently, I'm a bit more impulsive than I thought I was initially. So anyways, if you're new to my channel, hello and welcome. My name's Katherine and my channel is KWSHOPS. I do videos all about the luxury resale industry, and I've worked in the pre-loved industry for 5 years now. So here I give tips and tricks and insights into what holds its value, how to take care of your things, shopping tips, stuff like that. So if you love luxury and handbags, if you love saving money, then I'm sure you would love my channel. So hit the subscribe button down below, as well as the bell icon next to it, so you can be notified when I upload. So I put my impulse shopping into two different categories. The first category is the most obvious one. You see something, you like it, you buy it. It's a process that happens very quickly. But considering how much time and effort I usually spend generally on my designer purchases, I sort of give myself a couple of months lead time before I will commit to something. And sometimes when I see something and then decide to purchase it within like the span of a week or two, I see that, for me, especially considering the expense, I do see that as impulsive as well. So I'm gonna have like love at first sight items, as well as some pieces that I didn't necessarily put as much thought and planning into as well. So that's how I got to 11. Please don't think that I was just walking into Neiman's and bought like 11 things like just at the spur of the moment. It's definitely not what happened. And by the way, I want to hear it. Comment down below. Have you impulse bought? How long does it take? How much time is enough time for you to make the decision? What do you consider impulsive? If you sit and stew over it for a week, is that still an impulse? I want to know what your thoughts are. Comment them down below. The first item is my most recent purchase. It's these. These are the Dior Sunglasses. I just think these are fantastic. I think they're incredible. What more can I say? You guys know that I just moved and I'm in the middle of furnishing my entire apartment, and so there are certain things that you need in a home, and I decided to buy these instead. And you know what? It is what it is. So I just decided to take the plunge, and I mean, I think they're just incredible. Like, look at that. So those were my most recent, but otherwise I'm not going in any particular order. I'm just grabbing stuff as I go. So my next impulse buy was this. This is my Chanel key holder. But yeah, I never saw myself owning a key holder. I'd never heard of these before I got into the luxe community, and I'm so glad that I have, because it really is so incredibly just handy to have all your keys together like this. And I used to be that person that carried their keys in a giant keychain with, like, the chapstick and the pom-pom and all that stuff. That used to be me. But I realize now that I don't ever hear keys jangling in my bag, because they're all kept nicely, neatly together. But yes, I didn't just walk into the store and find one of these. I found this on Vestiaire Collective, and every once in a while you'll see a couple of them pop up on their website, so I will leave some of these linked down below. So my next piece was the impulse of all impulses. I have never in my life done what I did with this bag. And the bag that I'm talking about is this Gucci Mormont shoulder bag. I know I've been speaking about it a lot lately. This bag I found at the outlet mall, and when I just the outlet mall is pretty far away from where I live, and when I decided to go to the outlet mall that day, I wanted to go into the Gucci store to see what they had. I had no intention on actually buying anything. However, sometimes the time is right. Sometimes you see something and you just fall in love with it immediately, and this definitely is the impulse of all impulses. I did not know that this bag existed before I saw it at the outlet mall, and I made my decision in about 5 minutes. Like, that is a record for me, and that is not a habit that I want to get myself into. However, sometimes these things happen. So the next bag that I bought on impulse was this. You guys know, it's one of my favorites. This is the Tom Ford Mini Jennifer bag that I adore. I love this bag so much. I bought this shortly after I bought my very first designer bag, and that was the Louis Vuitton Belmont. I mentioned it in my last video. I'll leave it linked up here. But this was the second bag that I bought myself. This isn't a bag that you really see a lot of influencers, a lot of YouTubers carrying. It's not one that I've ever seen like people on the street carry. It is one that is definitely more, I would say, knocked off or copied. But I never tend to see people carrying this bag. However, we got it in at work once in the I think it was the large size maybe. I'll leave a picture of it up here. But it came in brown and it was the large size, and it was just, I just loved the design on that bag. I just thought it was so incredibly just smart design. I didn't buy that one, but because I just didn't love the color, and it was a bit too big for it was a weird size for my needs. But then after it sold, I was perusing on the Real late in the evening, as I am wont to do, and I saw this. I saw that it was mini. I saw that it was a cool color. I saw that it had all of the elements of the large size, only it was just a cute little crossbody. The reason I bought it so quickly was because I just remember how much I loved the larger size of the bag, and this has easily been one of my best purchases that I've ever made, and I made it on a complete whim. Speaking of the Tom Ford Mini Jennifer, that leads me to my next thing, and that is the Louis Vuitton Rabat Cles. This was the first designer wallet that I purchased, and the reason I bought it was because, so once I did buy this bag, the Tom Ford Mini Jennifer, I didn't have a wallet to fit inside of it. Now, I don't remember what wallet I was carrying at the time. I'm not someone that switches in and out of wallets very often, even to this day. However, I didn't have a wallet to fit inside of this bag, and that's something that I figured out immediately. So this bag actually does have a place to put cards if you wanted to, like a small little slip pocket. But I do like having, you know, just the organization of a wallet, and this fit the bill perfectly. So I was looking on Poshmark for the perfect little wallet that had the exact measurements that I would be able to fit inside of my bag, and this is the one that came up. I knew nothing about it, never heard of it, and I just saw that it was perfect. Little did I know this would be one of my most adored and most cherished items in my collection, and I had no clue that it existed. Flash forward to a couple of months ago, my original one got stolen. These don't come up on the market a lot, so I was very, very upset, but I was able to find one thanks to one of my fantastic subscribers, and I cannot be more thankful because it is back in my life once again. These are so incredibly hard to find. If I can find one, I will link it in the description box, but there probably won't be one out there. I really wish there were more of these floating around the pre-loved market. So I just talked about a complete win impulse. Now I'm gonna go into a loser. I am sure those of you who watch my channel know what I'm about to pull up. Oh yeah, the Chanel slides. I'm covering this. The Chanel slides. Worst impulse purchase ever. So with these, I bought these initially in January or February of 2017. I just happened to be walking through Saks one day, and I see these for the very first time. Again, didn't know they existed, didn't know anything about them. I tried them on, fell in love, even though this is at the time it was a really different style for me. I had never owned slide sandals before. I never thought of myself as like a slide sandal wearer, and yeah. These I didn't purchase initially, but I did leave my phone number with the shoe sales associate, and there comes a point where you start like dreaming about stuff and like creating outfits in your head to go around them. And that is exactly what I was doing. So after about 3 days of just non-stop just daydreaming about these shoes, I decided to pull the trigger. However, I'm not going to get too much into the saga. You guys know, I'm sure you guys know, and I'm sure you don't want to hear it again, but yes, these shoes have been drama. I bought them, I've had them repaired twice, I bought them twice. They're not great quality, and they were really, really expensive. And the thing is that right now, I feel like I'm off the designer shoe train for the time being, but they were an impulse buy. And I will say though that I was right in that that I wore them a lot, so they did win on that front. They're definitely something that I use a lot in my collection, but just as far as the amount of money spent, I don't think these were a good buy. So the next bag that I bought on impulse was the Chanel wallet Unchain. Now, this is a bag that I have since sold, and that just goes to show you that not all impulse buys are good. That bag is no longer in my collection. I think I eventually just grew out of it just because I bought a couple of other things that like supplement it and sort of made it obsolete in my collection. The reason I did buy it though was because I think I found it at just such a great price that I couldn't turn it away. I did use it and carry it for a year, and I did really like the colorway that I had it. So yes, the Chanel wallet Unchained that I had was from about 2007. It was made of blue perforated lambskin with silver hardware, and a couple of weeks prior to that at work, we got in the jumbo from that same collection. So I really liked the bag, and I really liked the bag. I really liked the colorway, and I think seeing it again at a more affordable price just really made me jump on it. And I don't know, I loved the bag, but I did end up selling it recently. So the next bag is another wallet Unchained. This is the Alexander Wang Prisma bag in black leather with iridescent hardware. Sort of like has an oil slick kind of deal going to it. But this is a bag that I didn't impulse it in the same way as the one I saw at the outlet mall. With this one, I was on a modeling job, and I went into the wardrobe area where they had all of the outfits styled out, and I happened to see this bag, and like it was a rose gold patent leather, so like that color obviously didn't speak to me very much. But basically, I encountered it for the first time on that photo shoot, and I just was playing around with it, and I really liked the design of the bag. So I'm gonna do close-up shots, because you're not gonna be able to see this because it is black. I really like the size, and I thought that all of the pockets on the inside were cool. It has this slip pocket up here. But what I really like about it is that the card slots go in vertically, and obviously that doesn't make any type of difference in carrying a bag, but I just thought it was something different, and I just thought it was something really different and really cool. And I'm just a sucker for unique designs, and I just thought this was a really great statement making piece. Once again, I blame the RealReal because a few days later, I'll say I happened upon it, but no, I was actually searching it out. I was searching specifically for this bag, and I found it in this color. This isn't something that you see all the time, but I just remember seeing it on that job and just really falling head over heels. And it's just something really basic. Also, I like to jazz it up with my Fendi twilly as well. This one here is another impulse buy. Now, I think I've told the story before, so I'm gonna just glaze over it very quickly. This is the Givenchy Antigona shopper in the Magnolia Moth print. It is exactly the same size, same dimensions as the GM Louis Vuitton Neverfull. This must have been 2016, I wanna say. It was July, so during swim week, and I was going to a whole bunch of castings and everything like that, and I just didn't have a great casting bag for all of my things that I needed to carry. So at the time, I tried carrying the Louis Vuitton Syracusa. I'll leave a picture of that up here. I no longer have that bag, but it just wasn't what I needed for what I was doing. I stirred and I stewed, and I was like, you know what, maybe I should get a Neverfull. And the minute I said that, I looked around at my casting and I saw 30 girls, I'm not exaggerating, I'm not kidding, 30 different girls carrying the medium or large never full in the damier bin, and they literally were we were all standing in line waiting for this casting to start, and all of the bags were lined up on the floor. When I saw that, I thought about it, and I decided that I wanted something a little bit different. Now, I'm not of the mind that, oh, too many people have it, I don't want it anymore, because no, I like what I like, and I think that if the reason that so many people do have it is because it's a great bag. Obviously, I bought it in another color, like, it's a great bag. However, yeah, I just thought that I needed something exactly like it, but I didn't want to get the Louboutin one because I just wanted to see, I guess I just wanted to see what else was out there. There was a girl that I was working with on a completely other job maybe a week before that, and she had this bag in the baby's breath print, and I said, oh my god, that is so beautiful, what is that? She told me it was Givenchy, so I started looking up Givenchy totes, and I found a random picture of this. It wasn't this bag itself. This bag hadn't come into play yet, but it was a picture of this bag in this print, and I fell in love immediately. So, being the bag addict that I am, I obsessively stewed over it until one day I found that Fashion File had one on their outlet, back when their outlet was on eBay, and I jumped on it immediately, and it has easily been one of my best purchases that I've ever made in my life. So this was a win. This was a good impulse buy, winner of an impulse buy, but impulse nonetheless. So next bag on my list is my Chanel tote. This is a Chanel canvas tote, sort of in the style of the Deauville, but slightly different. And this is from about 2014 or 2013 or 2014. I had never seen this bag before I purchased it. I bought it on Fashion File January of last year, and it just spoke to me, and I bought it. It was a great price. And so at the time, I was in love with the Deauville. I was like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna save up and try to find the Deauville. I'm gonna try to find one at a good price, which the lowest I've seen them is maybe $300 less than retail, and no thanks. I saw this and the price was amazing, and it just is the perfect bag for me. What I love, I said I bought this from Fashion File, and what I love is that this bag actually, in hindsight, has so much more structure than the Deauville does, and you guys know me, I love structure. Structure is one of my sticking points with bags, and this is just perfect. It's perfect, and it's a lot smaller. It is just one of my very favorite bags of all time, so this is definitely a win of an impulse buy. So now my last one is the Gucci 1973 Python in metallic. This is sort of a metallic pewter color with gold hardware. Okay, so with this 1973 bag, once again at work we had a similar, we had this collection in a clutch. I'll try to find a photo of one similar and put it up here. I like a clutch, but I like to be able to add a strap and choose to carry it as a clutch. That's sort of another one of my quirks with bags. You know, we're in a store and we just happened to see it, and it was Valentine's Day, so we decided to get this for my Valentine's Day present, and yeah. However, I've decided that I want to move on from it, and it is now for sale, so I'll put my email and my Instagram down in the description box below if you want to buy this beauty. It's really cute and I love it, but I just think it's time for the next phase. So there we have it. Those are all of my impulse buys, and I think the overall takeaway is that I tend to have good gut instincts with what I'm going to like in my collection. Obviously, there were some that didn't necessarily work out, some that I've sold, others that, you know, just aren't perfect or whatever, but I think that the majority of these bags are forever pieces in my collection. So that is not to say that impulse buying is good or responsible, because it isn't. I don't recommend it. I recommend feeling out your purchases, and I recommend putting a lot of thought into it. I personally spend a lot of time assessing what I like and what other people like about handbags that I maybe am a bit more comfortable with, you know, just throwing a little less caution to the wind, a bit more than others. However, again, I have to say it, do take this under consideration. These bags and these accessories and everything, this is a lot of money we're talking about here, so make sure that it's going to be the piece that's right for you before you pull the trigger. Impulse shopping is not necessarily the best route to take, and I feel like I really need to end with that. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. That's all I have for you guys today, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!